Eminem just performed live only 5 days after his mother's death, and fans are asking, did he even love her? For those who don't know, Eminem and his mother, Debbie Nelson, shared one of the most publicized and strained relationships in celebrity history. From scathing lyrics in his songs to lawsuits over defamation, their dynamic was far from a typical mother-son bond.
Eminem dissed his mum on a song so hard that she was able to successfully sue him. When did it happen, how did it happen, and what amount of money did she eventually get from him? Well, the lawsuit makes a lot more sense if you understand that Marshall Mathers and Debbie Mathers have always had a fragile relationship. When I was growing up, I hated my mother, mainly because we were constantly moving. Eminem recalls his childhood as a tormented time in which he was forced to attend 15 different schools, while his mum chased boyfriends from city to city, adding that his mother only loved him until he was 8 years old, and that by the time he was 15, she was demanding that he either help with bills or be thrown out of the house.
Debbie passed away last week, and now just days later, Eminem is back on stage. The timing has raised eyebrows and sparked discussions about his feelings toward her. But before we jump to conclusions, let's break this down. Eminem has always been raw and brutally honest about his emotions in his music, whether it was his controversial track Cleaning Out My Closet, where he aired grievances against his mother, or more recent moments where he softened his tone. Their relationship was layered with complexity.
Lawsuit with your moms, and I mean that must be a hard thing to to necessarily deal with as well.
Yeah, well, my mother is saying one day she's gonna drop the lawsuit, next day she's not. One day she is, next day she's not. So, whatever. I'm prepared. Whatever. I hope that does go to trial. I want to expose her for everything she is.
So, what does this swift return to the stage tell us? Eminem's public feuds with his mother were legendary in the early 2000s. He accused her of being overbearing and even claimed she had issues with substance abuse, which she denied. Their issues played out in the media, making their private turmoil public knowledge. But here's the question: was this just a mother-son fallout, or was it something deeper? In more recent years, Eminem seemed to acknowledge the weight of his anger toward Debbie. In the song Headlights, he apologized for his past words and admitted regret for how he portrayed her.
Now we're going to talk about some of your other records. One of my favorite is when we talk about your mom. Talk about that, because you have a different understanding for her after the things that you went through.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things that I said and that I realized is, I mean, at the end of the day, she's my mother, and I love her because she's my mother. I mean, even though we don't really speak, you know what I mean? She is my mother. I do love her, and I think I got a better understanding of what she was going through, or what she may be going through. You know what I mean? Now that when I see myself and how I actually became, you know what I mean? I think there's a little compassion factor that goes with that. So,
when was the last time you talked?
It's probably been a couple of years, probably about 3, maybe 4 years, something like that.
Could this performance so soon after her death be his way of processing grief while doing what he does best, expressing himself through music? Or is this Eminem's way of avoiding the pain altogether, staying busy to distract from the loss? At the concert, fans noted a distinct lack of mention of his mother. Some see this as proof that their relationship was still unresolved at the time of her passing. Others argue it's Eminem's way of keeping things personal and out of the spotlight, something he's valued more as his career progressed. Could it be that this performance is his silent tribute to her, a way of saying goodbye without words? What's fascinating is how Eminem has always turned life's tragedies into art. Fans are already speculating if Debbie's death will inspire a heartfelt tribute or reflection in his music. If history is any indication, his raw and unfiltered emotions could lead to something unforgettable.
Eminem has officially reacted to the news of his mom Debbie passing away after a long battle with cancer that she has been struggling with for years. She had been battling cancer for several years. Debbie also wrote a memoir in 2008 titled My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem, in which she detailed her perspective on their relationship and his rise to fame. The news of Debbie's passing has brought a wave of sympathy and support for Eminem, with many fans and fellow celebrities offering their condolences. And now, a source has spoken up to the press and revealed how Eminem feels about his mom passing away. In a statement, the source said, Eminem is absolutely devastated. His relationship with his mom was always rocky in the past, but in the last decade, they really patched things up. He's distraught and finding things extremely hard to cope with. He's surrounded by his family and loved ones who are helping him through this.
This story is another chapter in the life of one of music's most complicated and fascinating stars. What do you think? Was Eminem's return to the stage too soon, or is this just his way of coping? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on your favorite celebrities.